Welcome back to Northwest Cooks. I'm Nick Miles, and today Cisco is with us. Steve, who is the recipe meister at Buster's BBQ. Buster's BBQ, 3 locations around the Portland metro area?
That's correct.
So we've made our chicken rub, and we put that in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're going to show us how to do your meat or your rib or your brisket rub?
Right. It's an overall rub that can be used on beef and pork. You could also use it on the chicken if you like.
Okay. So what are the ingredients, Steve?
This is paprika. It's a special blend that I have made for me by Oregon Spice. This is brown sugar, white sugar, onion powder, basil, ground bay leaves, garlic powder. This is thyme and marjoram, ground coriander, chili powder, and this is kosher salt and black pepper.
Oh, so we're going to mix them together?
We're going to mix them together just like we did last time.
They all go in a big bowl. This is the simple thing about this is there's no sort of beat this together slowly. And
No. This is put it together, and the whole idea behind doing any type of rubs or cooking, in my opinion, is to experiment.
Right. Oh, wow.
And try some different things. If you've got some spices that you want to try, toss it in. See what it tastes like. You know your own taste better than anyone else.
Most of these are available at any store, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just not quite the same brands that you use. But
no. But they're available.
While you're mixing those together, take a look at this. Welcome to our Kitchen Gadget segment. We're here again with Jessica in our Bradley Design and Education Center. And Jessica, this looks like a regular kitchen drawer.
But it's not. Hidden in here is a Sub-Zero freezer drawer. It's fantastic and very useful for your extra freezer needs.
So if you hunt or harvest, this is where you can put the extra stuff, right?
Absolutely. If you need additional freezer space, or frankly, you don't use that much freezer space, so you don't want a refrigerator-freezer combo, you could just use this as your freezer alone.
Now, I know it's at counter level, which is very convenient for a lot of people, and there seems to be a lot of space in here. It comes also with a possible ice maker as well.
Absolutely. You can have it with or without.
Everything you need. You'll find out more about this Sub-Zero product or any of the products at the Bradley Design and Education Center at their website, which is bradleylee.net, or you can find more out about Bradley at our website, northwestcookstv.com. All right, Steve, my friend, you have enough meat out here for at least my portion of today's meal.
Okay.
Wow, look at this. So we have a brisket and
That's
ribs.
Good. This is baby back ribs. This
Baby back ribs.
2 to 1 3/4 down baby back rib, and this is a 120 trim brisket.
Now, it looks like a lot of meat to me. How many people do you think that's going to feed?
Just depends on which people you're talking about.
All right, if it's my crew here, we might just make it on one.
You probably wipe this out pretty quick.
All right, so your spice rub is ready to go.
Correct.
So what do we do?
What I like to do first on the baby back ribs is there's a membrane on the back, so you take a small knife, being careful, right along the bone area, hold the membrane, and peel it off.
Oh, wow, okay.
That way it cooks down a little more tender for you. Otherwise, if you don't, this can kind of get a little tough. So I always like to peel that off and dispose of it.
Okay.
Then once you've done that, then you're ready to use the spice mixture.
Okay.
Usually what you want to do is...
Another messy job.
It's another messy job, and this is somewhat the incorrect way to do it. I try to have a smaller bowl that I put some of that into because my hands are contaminated. But I won't be using this later. So.
I guess you could always shake it out if you had to, right?
Yes,
right.
But I like to make sure you don't put any meat contamination in the spices. You have to be careful. So you're basically just sprinkling this on first like we did before, just kind of rub it in. Flip it over, do the same thing on this side.
So just a light coating, really.
You don't want to do it too much because I do like the flavor of spices and herbs, but I also like the flavor of the meat.
Right.
I like the natural flavor of meat.
Right.
Some people get carried away. They put too many things on it, and before you know it, you can't taste the meat anymore.
So we put this right over the brisket everywhere.
Right over the fat cover. And if you notice, there's a good size fat cover on this brisket, and that's what you want because you're slowly cooking this.
Okay.
You want that fat to be able to seep down into the meat, keeps the meat moist, helps tenderize it.
Good.
It's just overall the best thing to have, in my opinion, because fat is a form of flavor transfer. And I know everybody's trying to watch their weight and be careful with their fat intake. but this is all trimmed off, most of it, when we serve it. Now what I do is I put them in a refrigerated area and I cook them up the next day.
Perfect. Now, we have one more recipe to do with you. What are we going to do?
Well, it's not necessarily a recipe. What I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how to trim and cut a brisket.
All right, so it's an education piece.
It's an education piece. I'll bring out a brisket that I cooked at the master pit and show you how to trim it up. And yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
If you were looking for vegetables on today's Northwest Cooks, you're out of luck. More meat when we return.